mean, YouTube is amazing. Like
YouTube has been like a godsend, man. Like
right, yeah.
when I first started, well, let me introduce you. We'll get into that in a second.
Right.
But I'm gonna add that intro. That intro is dope.
Right.
So Sean, thank you for coming back on the Uncovering Creativity series. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I am dope. Can't complain. Life is good.
Life is good. Life is good.
What's new on the plate? How have you been? Like, what are you working on? What's in the works? I know we started talking about some music stuff. We'll get to that shortly.
Yeah. Well, I'm still in Light Fires Everywhere. We actually just kind of wrapped up a song that we're getting mixed and mastered right now. I'm actually on a rap compilation with
oh shit.
Yeah, I also rap. So I mean I've been busy. Like I'm starting a podcast tomorrow. Like
oh wow.
Then I got another side project that I'm doing. I don't really want to go into too much.
No. Yeah, no, I understand that. I understand.
It's like secret band kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, like I've just been like back and forth, just so many things happening. But yeah, so bands, music, podcasts. I'm working on getting my own merch and website. I mean, it's just a lot of things happening right now.
That's what's up, man. I love hearing that. What's the podcast revolve around?
Just I think I want to say like a safe haven for men to just talk about things as men. Whatever topics we talk about. We may get into like the music and anime stuff, but then we may get into the more serious topics about like expressing yourself as a man and the identity of what it really means to be a man, kind of things like that. Just kind of like this, again, like this safe haven of this safe place where men can just talk about things as men.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of podcasts have been coming out of this, pandemic with COVID and stuff. So, I was like, well, why not? Let's try it, so it's going to be me and my two good friends. So we're actually, filming that tomorrow. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, it works because we haven't tested this out at all. So
you know what, man, like it's one of those things you just got to jump in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, there's a quote that I like to reference anytime it comes to trying something new.
Right.
It's hold on. Never test the depths of water with both feet. Always go like 1 foot at a time.
Oh, right? that makes sense. Because
but with podcasting, everything creative, you can always jump into that, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You'll find your grounding eventually. But in terms of that podcast, I'm all ears for that. So if you ever need a guest, like I find like with a lot of stuff that I'm learning and self-teaching myself and all that is like it's hard to find people that I can share some of that knowledge with. Like I talked to my girlfriend about it, but like there's only so much she could take, right?
Right, exactly. Oh no, definitely. We do plan on having guests. I mean, we're gonna have a whole outline of, I want to like promote businesses, hey, this person, this is the business of the month. Here's a website, here's their link tree or whatever. Then, we do want to have guests on there, to get, different feedback. I do believe in that whole the idea of iron sharpens iron. Like you can learn from each other and things like that. So definitely maybe not right now, but
100%.
once we get established and we get a good idea of what we're doing, because like you said, we're literally jumping into the water with this one. No life jackets, no lifeguard at the beach. We're just let's just go out there. We're just going all for it. So
I mean, just how this started, I just reached out to you. I'm like, yo, like,
oh yeah,
shoot me a video to talk about music, and you blew me away because it's like you covered everything that I've been studying, everything that how I think about life and the world and how music has helped me, and that's inspired other people too, right? So I think with what you're doing, I respect that, especially just jumping into it, and it's dope.
Yeah, and it's crazy because my wife, she mentioned that too. She was like, it's crazy you have an idea and you just go for it and you
go with it.
I'm just doing it. I mean, like I've built a studio, like a little mini studio in my basement here. This is my basement. And I just, I got like this, what's it, Scarlet 2i2. I made the closet next to me like a little booth, got
Yeah.
some, it's, and I think the issue is people feel like they have to, and it's like, yeah, you're going to have to, it takes money, to an extent, but it's like all of it's really up here. Like,
That's all it is.
like if you really want something, just go for it. Like you don't need someone to give you like I remember, like back in the day, like if someone wanted to get wanted to record, you had to go to a studio. It's like now computers are equipped with like recording software, and it's like now it's like back then you really had to sit there and mix it and I mean, they got programs that are like we'll do all the mixing and mastering for
Everything.
you know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's just, I mean, it's just great. So now all these, aspiring artists and creative people, they get to, put their hard work and their creativity out there, and it's awesome. It's really awesome.
Mm-hmm. So what was have you always been like a self-starter, or is that something that you kind of picked up later on in life?
It really started, and this is hilarious. My friend Chris, in middle school, I remember he used to draw, like like
shout out
Dragon
to Chris,
Ball Z.
by the way.
Yeah, shout out to Chris. That's my homie. Yeah, he used to draw, and I used to always like write stories around his drawings, and like I would, and then we would like, I mean, we made comic books, in middle school, and it was dope, and it was just like, I think that was really that spark, because beforehand, before I met Chris, I was writing poetry. I was writing poetry and short stories and stuff like that, because I really wanted to be a writer, like, but then when I met Chris, he was drawing, and I was like, oh, well, you do art. Well, can I like take that and like, give him dialogue and stuff, and then that kind of transitioned into like music, and I mean, it was just like, it just took me on different paths. But I think, Chris, me working with someone who was like creative in that aspect, I think we kind of just bounced off ideas off each other, and that just kind of fueled that creativity into the music, and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I always loved music too, though. But I would say I started off with writing stories, and then I was like, well, let me do poetry. Then I heard rap, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. Then that opened doors to like rock, and then different genres of music. So yeah,
it's crazy because I actually had this similar upbringing, because in what grade was I? Like grade 1 or 2.
Right.
My buddy Peter, like childhood friend, me and
Shout
him used to have like, shout out to Peter, man. Peter's a dope guy. And shout out to his little one and his wife too.
Yeah.
I used to draw like comic books and stuff like that. I remember one of the characters' names was like Jed, and used to be like these little triangle characters or whatever. But like for as far back as I can remember, like I've always been interested in art and like the creative process, but I didn't understand it as much as I have an understanding of it now. For me, it was just like, I need to get whatever is in my head onto paper. I just need to do it. Wherever it comes from, I just need to do it.
Right.
How, like, in terms of like your creativity, have you ever stopped to think about where that comes from? How do you nurture that relationship with yourself?
Oh, that's a really good question. Because nobody be asking questions like that. They be like, "What kind of music
we can go deep,
right?
We can go deep,
dude." It's like, for me, it's kind of the same way. It's like even now, like I'm thinking of music stuff, like even while I'm talking to you, and my mind is just constantly like thinking of new innovative ways to do something or approach something different. And like, I can honestly, it just comes from that. I think it comes from life experience. I always felt like nobody, because I was like I wasn't a bad kid. I was a good kid. You know what I mean? So it was like, I felt like the teachers, they always remembered the bad kids' names because they got called on so much. They were like, you better stop this. But when it was me, they always be like, what's your name again? Because I was so quiet, and I was a good kid. So, but when it came to music, it was like it was like an out of body experience almost. Like I could be someone, what I mean? I could be someone else at this point. Because even now, when people hear my raps, they're like, "Oh, this is you."
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, or like, oh, this is your band, or you play bass, like, or you play guitar, and all this stuff. So I think with music, it really just kind of helped me get out of that shell, and and really come face to face with who I truly am. And it's this really deep, intense feeling, for music. I love music. Like, I live and breathe music. Like, I cannot, no matter what, it's like whether I'm working on a group project or a solo project, it's like I'm going to do music in some shape, way, or form. So, like, I mean, dude, you're getting deep already. We're only like 2 minutes in, man.
Yeah.
So you gotta relax, man. You gotta relax. So.
Well,